Hi Capricorns, welcome to your November 2017 readings. So in these readings I cover home, work, and relationships. Relationships come in all forms. They come in the form of coworkers, they come in the form of parents, children, siblings, friends, so keep that in mind. We had some cards fall out already for you guys. And then I'll stop there because the rest are starting to fall out. Okay, so your first card you have is the Knight of Cups. Your second card we have is the Two of Wands. The next card we have is the Four of Pentacles. We have the Moon card. We have the Ten of Pentacles. We got the Hermit. We have the Two of Cups. We have the King of Cups. And we have the Knave of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles. You'll have to excuse the lighting. I can't really figure it out. The more I try to play with it, the worse it gets. I'm so bad with technology. My laptop is a really good laptop. It's just the camera's not all that great. So I'll figure that out eventually. Just one thing at a time, right? Okay, Capricorns. So just give me a moment. I pick up on energies. So give me a moment to connect here. Okay, well, it seems like in relationships, okay? Oh, okay, well, I get this quite often for Capricorns, and I don't know why. It's like I get a lot of child-based here, okay? You may have at home with your children, okay, there may be some complications between two of your children, okay? It seems like two of your children, okay, one, it seems, okay, one is very practical and grounded, and the other one is emotionally off balance. Okay, and it seems like the one that's emotionally off balance is getting you emotionally off balance, all right? It seems like you have a child that's attention seeking. Okay. Okay, and it seems like this child's attention seeking due to the fact that your other one may be... Well, it seems like the one of your children, like I said, is more practical. So it seems that, okay, well, they're building. It seems like it's a builder. Like, I'm seeing, like, Lego blocks. And then your other one seems to be stuck in their emotions somehow. All right? But it seems to be getting you emotionally off balance. You seem to be very concerned about it, though. All right? Okay, Capricorns. I am a Sag Sun with a Sag Mercury, which means that I can be blunt. I do try my best to be as practical or as gentle as possible, okay? But problems don't fix themselves, okay? They need to be spoken about. So sometimes things have to be said in order for progress. So I'm going to hopefully say this correctly. Don't shoot the messenger here. What I'm getting, Capricorn, is any difficulties you're having in your relationship, this is not for all of you guys, okay? This is referring to more of the masculine energy. Women can take on masculine energy as well, all right? But what I'm getting is, Capricorns, you seem to have father issues. And these father issues are interfering in your connection in your relationship. I don't feel like it's with your children. I feel like you're doing great with your children, okay? I really do feel like you're doing great with your children. What I feel like is that it's either a mother or a father issue you have. And this is interfering in your connection in a romantic field. Okay, so one of you, okay, you could come from a different culture or something where you're supposed to be a specific way. I do feel like for some of you guys, you had a separation when you were a young child, and this is what's interfering in your relationship now. It's made you very stern with your partner. I don't feel like you're this way with your children, though. Okay, but with your partner, you need to be more emotionally open. So what you're hiding emotionally needs to come out, because Capricorns, we go over this quite often. If you don't release that, okay, it's going to come out in a burst, and then you're going to feel guilty about it. And Capricorns do feel guilty when they do stuff like that. And I always say that there's usually good reason for it. It's just the timing, right? You need to let it out as it happens and not let it build up for like 6 months or a year. Okay. Also, in your relationships come in all forms. So they could be with coworkers, friends, family members. There is a sense here that you have manipulation around you. You do have it around you, and that's going to be found out. I'm not saying that this is you. I'm not saying that this is another person. What I am picking up on is that there's some sort of secrets and hidden. There's something hidden, and it will come to light. And if it's coming from you, if you don't fix it, okay, well, it's going to have a negative effect on the cards are showing finances, and they're showing work related. It's going to affect your work. All right. Okay, if you're having issues at work, okay, we have the King of Cups here. It is, okay, the King of Cups is quite intelligent. Okay, the King of Cups is more of a, they usually make good scientists. They can. They're very analytical. They're good with numbers. Okay, what I'm getting is I'm getting a Pisces energy from it. And the Pisces energy is like daydreaming. All right, you got too much daydreaming, and you're not grounding it practically. All right, for some of you, I feel like you may have. I'm not picking it up as a Pisces person. I'm just picking up the Pisces energy, which is it's implying that you're too much stuck in your mind, and you're too much stuck in. Okay, some of you guys are drowning your sorrows here. All right, and then some of you are just daydreaming about something that's not even real. It's like, okay, it's almost like you're creating your own problems here. And if you want to get out of this, then you need to get out of your emotions. Some of you guys are being stubborn, Capricorns. I don't mean to laugh, but it's like, I'm laughing because you know it. It's like you guys know it. Like, you do know it. I feel it. Like, you know it. So it's like, why are you doing it, Capricorn? Like, why are you doing it? We go over this almost every month. Okay, you need to make a decision. You need to make a choice. Okay, like, understand that you have many options. The dissatisfaction that you're feeling is because you're looking at things one-sided. All right? Okay, well, okay, I feel like we're going back to this child that has the water inside of them. It needs to come out. It needs to flow out. Okay? I do feel like you have one child that's causing you difficulties, and then you have one child that's moving forward. And the reason why the one child is causing you difficulties is because you have one child moving forward. Okay? So, Capricorn, you're going to have to sit down and you're going to have to talk to this child, and you're going to have to explain to them okay, why your one child is proceeding forward, and then why they're not. You're going to have to do that. Okay? You're going to have to give some tough love here. And okay, well, here's the thing with Capricorns. People can say what they want about them, but you guys are softies with your children. You really are softies with your children, and that's like your one weakness. And Capricorns don't have a weakness, but their one weakness is their children. It is their children. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm a daddy's girl. You see, I got him wrapped around my finger, and he's got me wrapped around his finger, so it goes vice versa. You know, where okay, you have abundant of opportunities coming your way. You really do. Uh, in your relationships, any problems you're having is due to emotions being held in. Okay, and you're not saying what you know, Capricorn. All right, you already know things, and you know that some things need to be said and things need to come out. You're blocking them though. Okay, and if you're blocking them, then that means that in some manner you're some manner you're going to be using a toxic behavior pattern for as avoidance. Those of you that are fathers, you seem quite protective over your children. Okay, and I do feel like you have a child that's going to need you for a creative ability that they have, or some sort of creative thing that they want to do. So this is again the water that's built up inside of them that they're trying to get out. They may need you to do this for them. Okay, so they may be saying to you that, Mom, Dad, I want to do this. Mom, Dad, I want to do that. Mom, Dad, can you help me with this? And you might be looking at them like, well, that's not practical. That's not going to get you anywhere. Or, you know, maybe something hasn't been done before, and maybe it's something that your family hasn't done before, or it's not instilled in your family. You know what I mean? This is going back to family patterns here. Tradition, right? So it's like, okay, different cultures bring their children up in different ways, right? And some cultures, you know, like I'll give an example. My mom's Portuguese, and it's more traditional for the women when they're brought up, you know, to be women. Okay, like you're meant to cook in the kitchen, you're meant to do this, you're meant to do that. You know, like they tell you a lot of Japanese, Asian cultures, even the Indian cultures. A lot of these cultures bring up their daughters to be a specific way. They tell them they're pretty at a very young age, and they tell them to sit cross-legged. Okay, you may have a young child that's a girl that wants to be in sports. Okay, most Capricorns are fairly good with this. All right, my dad's Scottish, and due to being mixed, that pattern was broken in my family. Because my father always encouraged me to do what I wanted to do, right? And there was some arguments between my parents about that because that was foreign to my mother, right? My mother didn't want her little girl. She would put a dress on me, and you know, I'm an 80s kid, and have white stockings on and a pretty dress and the hair all crimped and, you know, like, ponytail to the side. And 10 minutes later, I'd be coming in the house and my stockings would be ripped. I'd have grass all over it, twigs in my hair. The side ponytail was now hanging down, mud across my face. Where, you know, my mother was in shock when that was first happening. That was inappropriate to her. And my father laughed, you know, where he was like, she's just trying to be who she is, you know. When I hit a certain age, my mom realized that that was a behavior that she had, a pattern that she had taken on. All right. A lot of Asian cultures go through this as well. Mediterraneans. Okay. So, and then what happens is the boys have the same sort of pattern too, but in an opposite direction. The boys have the pattern of, I have to be the breadwinner. I have to bring home the bacon. I have to be the businessman. I have to, you know, not show my emotions or be sensitive. You know, In some cultures, it's even hard for them to get approval from their parents. Not even approval. It's like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like your parent patting you on the back saying, I'm proud of you. All right. It's like you didn't get that as a child, is what I'm picking up. All right. So you now have this need to constantly try to overreach. All right. It's because you like, it's due to a pattern of behavior that you developed as a child. That's what I'm getting. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. Every person, it'll be different. All right. And these things are normal. They're normal. Well, there's actually no such thing as normal. Okay, people can say it all they want, but it's a stigma. All right. There's some sort of pattern that you need to break, and you need to be okay with who you are. And you need to understand that you don't need approval from the outside. You need approval from yourself. You understand? My concern is you guys holding in your emotions here. It is getting you off balance, and this could be causing you to drink. Okay? Or your work. It seems like work-wise, you're going to be quite successful once you make a decision or a choice. My dog's digging on the carpet. uh, okay, the Ten of Pentacles is a family unit. So this is like staying within the family, building a family company. Okay? I feel like for some of you guys that are older, okay, if you're older, like in your 30s, all right, and you're developing something here, your own business, your own company, okay, and you're very family oriented, all right, but there seems to be this battle. There's a battle going on of like with you and your parent, all right? It's it's almost like you okay, you're quite okay. It's almost like your parent doesn't want to give you control. All right, your parent's always going to be your parent no matter how old you are. All right, they're always going to look at you as a child. Okay, like, so you could be 40 years old, they're still going to look at you as if you were that little boy or little girl. Okay, so you need to understand at that point it's an ego battle. Okay, there's an ego battle going on with your children. Okay, and it's almost like, okay, when that happens, it's because your parent is in denial at the fact that you are now fully grown, and that you might, okay, if you're creating a family business, it's almost like you want your parents' approval for it, or you need their help with it. However, you're not wanting to do it because of an ego battle. All right. So this means, okay, you might have more knowledge and wisdom. Okay, you might have the idea, and it's not more knowledge and wisdom. You do need to listen to your parents. Okay, but you need to understand when your parents are being difficult, it's because at that point they're realizing that, it's almost like when a king is a king and he has a prince, right? Like his son is the prince, he has to give that crown over to his child eventually, all right? At the same time, they can go into denial about it, all right? Like not wanting to give up their power, because therefore that means that their child is going to rule the kingdom. That becomes an ego thing. There's an ego thing here happening. I'm like hopefully not giving a spiel that's off balance here. You need to ensure that you're watching your drinking, because if you're having any problems, drinking could be the reason for that. All right? Whatever your idea is, you need to go for it. But if you're involving your family in it, you need to understand, you need to be respectful towards your parents. All right? Instead of battling with them about it, what you need to do is you need to validate them. Okay? And then there'll be slow changes. Once you start, okay, I'm seeing like two horns. I'm seeing, what is that? Like two bulls, and their like horns are entangled. Like they're, you know, it's like they're battling for. Right? You don't fight your parent. You don't need. Okay, you can't fight them. All right? If you're fighting, well, that's not going to do anything except create more problems. You need to accept. All right? You need to accept that you have nothing to prove to your parents. Like, you got nothing to prove here. Right? Like, if you're trying to prove things to the outside world, you're just going to hurt yourself. That's what it's saying. What you need to prove is to yourself. Your capability is to yourself. Okay, if that scenario plays out with your parents and you are older, you need to understand that it's just an ego thing, all right? And it's not intentionally. Okay, others of you, you may have an illusion. Okay, if you're interested in somebody, you may have an illusion about it. The moon card is here, all right? We have the Four of Pentacles, the Hermit, and the Knave of Pentacles for home, which means there's some dissatisfaction at home. Okay, and again, we have a lot of illusion here. We have a lot of la-di-dee, la-di-da, like up in the air, you know, like we got a lot of pondering and, okay, there needs to be more action here. Yeah. The card that I just pulled was the Hangman, and the Hangman is like you're stuck. You're stuck. Like, and you can't do that no more. You got to move at home. If you want changes, well, then you need to create that. They're not just going to happen. Like, okay, some of you that have children, they might be a little dissatisfied at home and they might be acting out. And that's because they don't feel like they're being heard. They don't feel like you're validating them. So when they're talking to you, you need to say, like, I understand, and then ask why they feel that way. So that way you understand, and then you can validate them. I feel like you have a child that's acting out because they're attention seeking. You see it, though. You see it. Okay, you have one child that, I do feel like it's music. I've gone over this before, the violin, a cello, a bass. I feel like they're musically inclined, even a piano, a keyboard, something. I feel like they'll come out of their shell when they start doing stuff like that. We have the Ace of Swords here. Okay, so this is what it's saying. It's like going back to the horn thing. Like you got two horns here entwined, like it's a battle, okay? Like in your partnerships, they're not battles, okay? Your partnerships are there to build you up, not tear you down, all right? There's nothing here about competition. Like there's something here about, I'm concerned that you're going to self-sabotage here, Capricorns. Okay, in your romantic, okay, so here's the thing. In your romantic field, what I'm seeing is that you have, okay, you have this Ace of Swords here, all right? The Ace of Swords means that somebody is giving you false information about your relationship. So this is like if somebody's telling you that there's cheating happening, well, that's okay. That's an assumption, all right? That's not fact. You want facts, okay? You have false accusations that you're taking as facts. And it's coming from the outside, somehow from the outside, and this is what's causing the problems. This is what's getting you emotionally off balance. So this means you need facts here. Don't assume things. If you want to know something, okay, well, then you need to directly ask, all right? This is not assuming. Whoever's giving you, who's ever creating these illusions for you, they're doing it because they're projecting their own childhood traumas, okay? They're projecting their own issues, all right? So if a person's a negative person and that's what they speak about all the time, if they're talking about how, oh, you know, I feel like it's aggressive. Okay, so if this person's aggressive and for some reason, I don't know who it is, it could be a friend, family member, it's an outside influence telling you that this person's cheating. Okay, well, this person's projecting who they are. So if you're coming across a person who's quite negative, all right, and they're always claiming that, oh, you know, this and that, and they're always negative, right? And that's the information that they're giving out. Well, they're showing you who they are, all right? You don't want to get involved in that. They're projecting their own personal issues on you, all right? Like, you need facts, not assumptions. So this means taking what you hear with a grain of salt, all right? Understanding what you see and what you hear are two separate things, okay? Yours is always much more like family-based for some reason. Okay, you have the two of cups, which is, okay, that's partnership, all right? That's where two people build together, okay? It means that Capricorns, you can't be debating with people, all right? You need to like really hear what the other person is saying and then acknowledge it, all right? Because what I'm getting is, for some of you, if you're having problems, it may be due to speech, the way that you're directing yourself. So it may be like, somebody feels stunted here. Okay, so if you're having problems at work, I don't feel like you have a decision to make at work. Here's the thing, if you're money oriented, that's going to get you off balance. Okay, don't use work as a distraction, because that's going to cause problems at home. All right? You definitely, if you have a family, you definitely need to bond with your family more. Okay? Whatever differences you're having with your family, you need to understand that that's something you learn from, all right? But also, if what you're seeing in somebody you dislike, you probably have that in yourself. Like, I'm not saying that you know, like, I'll give you an example. One day, me and my dad were cooking in the kitchen, and my dad's a very thorough man. He likes things done a certain way, right? And I was cooking in the kitchen as well with him, and he came over and he was trying to tell me, okay, like, he wanted it like this and like that, and then I just looked at him like, really? Dad looked at me and he was like, what? And I looked at him and I was like, really? You know? And then he looked at me like, really? And then we started laughing, and my dad says to me, you know, we're like oil and water when we're in the kitchen. And then I started laughing, and I said to my dad, and I was like, Dad, listen. I was like, it's not the fact that we're oil and water. Like, it's the fact that we're both oil, okay? Like, the way I act is because it's the way he acts, all right? I picked up those habits from him. And then when we were in the kitchen and we seen it as, you know, okay, we're both irritating each other, all right? Because we're not cooperating. It's not, we're both doing the exact same thing. Like, we were doing the exact same thing. I used humor in that scenario, you know, where I gave him because I'm his little girl. I was like, you know, where he started laughing. If you have a problem, you need to use humor to, like, break it down, all right? You need to, okay, if you're having difficulties with your child, again, it's not because you're oil and water. You're both oil. So in the situation, you're separating. It's just two oil blobs that separated, you know, floating around in the water instead of combining together. Does that make sense? Is that like, at work, what you need to do or what the cards are saying, I don't feel like you have, I don't know why you're in two minds at work. I'm going to be honest. You're dissatisfied in some sort of manner, and it could be due to somebody else. Um, okay? You can't let this other person affect you, because the cards say that you're gonna, like, you're quite successful. What you're doing is fine, right? Like, so somebody might be trying to get you emotionally off balance. Okay, don't do that to another person. We're in Scorpio, Jupiter time. Anything that's used as manipulation or hidden or that isn't true will come to light. All right, so you don't want to pay attention to any of that, and don't even put your energy in it, because it'll be found out on its own. And Capricorns, you're better than that. All right, like, some of you might be traveling, might get an opportunity for a job. It might be at a distance, but it is saying that that job will be very good for you. All right. Okay, for you older Capricorns, I do feel like, okay, you have a child, and this child is older, and for some reason, uh, my throat's getting choked up, and I almost want to cry. I'm an empath, so I pick up on emotions. Um, it almost seems like you're being stubborn with this child because you're in denial about them being older. Oh, it's so sad. That's kind of sweet. And I feel like you're doing that because then at that point, when you realize that your child's no longer a child, you have to realize that you are getting older. Okay, because we have the hermit here. So there's like a denial process happening, and you're seeing as getting older and mature as a bad thing. And what you need to understand is that, okay, it's a blessing to be able to have age. All right. Most people don't even, some people don't even get to live to 20. Some people don't get to live to 30. Some people don't get to live to 40. All right. If you're 50 or 60, well, you can still live to 100. You still got 40 years left in you. So what are you dwelling about here, Capricorn? All right. You still have 40 years of stuff to do. You know what I mean? People can live to 108, so then you have 48 years left to do stuff. All right. You're in a different phase in your life, and you need to accept that. You can't be in denial about it. Like, okay, well, we have judgment here. All right. And it's funny because when I seen the judgment card, I got it's hammer time. I have no idea why. And I heard vanilla ice as well. Like, ice, ice, baby. I'm not sure why. It's like it's time to make movement and time to make changes, Capricorn. All right. It's a privilege to be older, and you have great knowledge and wisdom as you age. This doesn't mean because you need to apply that in a practical manner somehow. I don't know if some of you Capricorns feel like you're not appreciated, or it's like you're feeling like you're not needed, but people do need you. So I'm not understanding it. But you are keeping yourself in limbo here, all right, about some sort of decision, and I feel like it's emotional. You have like a native Indian vibe here. I'm not sure why. I'm picking up native Indian. What do they call that? A walkabout? Is that what it's called? So it's almost like Capricorns, you're in a modern day walkabout, which means It's a journey, all right, a different phase. And I feel like you're going to be pulled out of this, all right? And the walkabout is being done mentally, okay? But you do, if you're drinking, cut it out. Cut it out. It's hurting you, right? Okay. It's almost like whatever, okay, you got to understand, Capricorn, if you have emotions and feelings and you're keeping it in, that is poison. That is toxic, okay? That is the reason why, you might be feeling sick. Some of you could feel sick. If you have a child that feels sick, it's because they're holding stuff in. Okay, it'll become toxic to you. It'll become poison in that scenario. So it needs to come out. You need to develop a new pattern here, and it is the mindset. For work, you need to find out other avenues. This means going out and networking. You have a new opportunity coming towards you. It could be through distance. Okay, and if at work, if you're having any problems, okay, the cards are saying try to be emotionally supportive. This means like emotionally encouraging people or understanding when somebody's frustrated, being patient with them. You're great teachers. You got to be patient with yourself too, Capricorn. All right. All right. Hopefully that helped you guys out, and I will talk to you mid-months. Ciao for now. Namaste.